Okay, hey you guys, it's your girl, it's Najee, and I'm gonna show you guys, well, not show you guys, but I'm gonna tell you guys how my first month of pregnancy was and break it down to you. So, first week was the week that I came home. First day I came home was rocky because I had got into it with my baby's father, so I was kind of like over it. By the end of the day, like the end of the day that I brought her home, but day one, um, I broke down and cried. All the emotions weighed down super hard. Like they came down like water, like rain. Like it was just a rain of emotions. I was emotional because one, I'm not with the baby father. Two, I'm not in my own place. Three, I have to take care of this little one for the rest of her life. Um, I have to just flat out everything just hit me. Um, so that was day one. After I got done crying out, whatever, day two wasn't really any better. I had to get in the routine of like training my body, like, okay, pump, feed, because I'm breastfeeding. So I had to pump every 2 hours. I had to feed her every 2 hours. And on top of that, I had to change her diapers. So everything was in a ripple. So in the middle of that, I had postpartum body, which means I looked into my body because I was at the hospital and I seen my body, but I didn't really see it like that because the lights are kind of like dim and whatever. But when I walked into that bathroom and raised my shirt up and see my stomach, I had a freaking panic attack because I was like, oh my gosh, like what is this? Because I'm so used to seeing people on Instagram and all that. Once they have a baby, they like snatch, like nothing happened, whatever. So that was really hard for me to see that I had a belly that had stretch marks. um it just was like ugly. Like it looked like a deflated basketball. I should have took a picture, but I was so depressed I couldn't do it. um so I had to deal with that. Plus, after you have a baby, you have these like items that you have to take care of. So every time you go to the bathroom, you got to have a squeezy bottle and you have to put warm water in it and you have to squeeze it down there to rinse out all the clots and blood and all that stuff that's down there. Then you have to get these underwear they give you. You have to put a pad, like this big gigantic pad on, and then you have to get like an ice pack pad, put that on top of the pad and soothe it, because like your vagina is like literally throbbing, and that's really what it is. It's just throbbing. For me, I didn't tear with my delivery, so I can only imagine how it feels when you torn down there. I don't really know, but I know like one of my friends said that it, like the stitches or whatever itches at a time. So I don't know. But anyway, so that's what I did. I did all that, and then every time I go to the bathroom I have to do that. And then what caught me is the fact that I wasn't constipated. So when by the time I came home, I was fine. I was boo-booing and peeing and everything was fine. But the part that was getting me was the fact that I had to do this routine every time I went to the bathroom. And it was finding time to use the bathroom. And then on top of that, when you go use the bathroom, I didn't have control. So you know how like when you pee, you like push and pee? No, it was literally like I'll get on the toilet and it'll just fall out because my vagina is just so open, whatever. So that was different. And so I started looking in the books, whatever, and they were saying like you have to do exercises down there, so moving your muscles, whatever. So I started doing that, and of course, like right about now, it's like fine, but that was after a month. So week two, it was like getting kind of tolerable, and that's whenever I went to the doctor. No, I went to the doctor on week three. So week three, I went to the doctor and I was telling my doctor what all was going on. Like, it's absences here. I'm the only one that's like, I feel like I'm like doing everything because I am. And it's just kind of like the help that I thought I was going to get, I'm not getting. I'm only getting the help from like my mom and my dad. I'm like physically helped. Like I'm not getting no relief from like the baby's father. It's just kind of like he's doing his own thing. And that's what I didn't care for, because I'm just like, I need help. And then I talked to my dad, and he was just like, men aren't nurturers, whatever. They just taught to like provide. But it's just kind of like, I'm not even getting that either. So it's just really annoying. Of course, everybody knows you can't have the baby out of the house, especially if you're breastfeeding and etc. whatever. So, and then on top of that, I'm dealing with the coronavirus that's out, and everybody's like haywire in the streets now. So it's kind of like all these things that are going on right now at this time, and it's really stressful. So like, it's just really hard to get people to like come and help or whatever. So anyway, so eventually I had to kind of like get myself together, and my doctor recommended me to see like a therapist and possibly getting on some medication. So of course, when you hear medication, you're like, whoa, like I ain't crazy and this and the third, but it is what it is. So I didn't get medication on right now. Like I'm just kind of against it, but I would advise for someone to like for you to go talk to someone, because when I actually finally made that step to go talk to a therapist, just doing my assessment, I felt great, letting it all out, how I felt, and etc. So I would definitely recommend it. Also, having friends. I have a friend circle, and when I tell you, they literally help me to a T. Like, it's so important to have people to talk to, because this time is so tedious. And when you get by yourself in a room, you get super emotional. You start crying like out of nowhere. So I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Postpartum is real. This is a whole nother feeling. This isn't even something you can like prepare for. I did good so far. I haven't cried in like 2 days, and I've been learning to protect my peace. So like my trigger is probably like the baby's father. So I don't talk to him, like long drawn out conversations. It's kind of like, this is what I need, blah blah. But I mean, even if I can't get what I need, you still have to make a way. Like moms, when they tell you, like moms, even if they don't have anything in their bank account, whatever, they will always make a way. They will always make a way. And I'm learning it. And it's crazy, because you'll be like thinking like, dang, I don't have this and a third. And all of a sudden you'll get somebody to be like, hey girl, I just sent you $100. Like that's what happened. Like, like just simple stuff. Like when they be like, oh, I can't get this, then you'd be like, okay, cool. Like you'll be fine, because you already know, like I would advise keeping a savings account. Start that thing up ASAP, because at the end of the day, you don't know if you're going to need something. And trust me, with a child, you always need to have some backup cash, because they require stuff on demand and you can't wait. Like you can't be like, I give you the diapers next week. You can't do that. Like they need the diapers now. Like what you gonna do? What I'm gonna do? That's like a girl on her period saying that you'll give her some pads next week. What she gonna do? Bleed out like on the like? That's what I'm saying. Like no. So anyways, so I feel like it's stressors that happen with the whole month. Your relationship is really tried. But at this point, you don't even have time to think about a relationship, but you kind of are, because you're thinking about, oh my gosh, like I wanted this to be a big happy family. I didn't envision this like this. When I had decided to keep the child, I didn't envision it to be like that in the third. So you're thinking about all this. You're thinking about your job, like, okay, well, what I'm gonna do? How I'm gonna do this on the third now? It's just a lot of thoughts that go in your head, and if you think too much, you're gonna be overwhelmed and you're gonna freak out. Also, when I'm going out in public, like for her doctor visits, that's overwhelming if you go by yourself, because when the baby starts crying, what you gonna do? If you're a breastfeed mom, it's harder to just make than just to fix that bottle and give it to them, because now you have to figure out, okay, is people around, they're gonna be kind of like cringy looking when you go and pull out your boob to feed your baby. Now you have to think about, okay, I gotta make sure I bring my cover so I can cover her up so people not staring at me. You also have to think about, like, okay, are there bathrooms accessible for her to get changed? Like I went to the wig office and had to do all that by myself, and I literally almost had a panic attack in the bathroom, because they didn't have a changing thing, and I realized how important it is to have those changing things. Like, y'all really need to put them in every single bathroom, because it's really a struggle for moms to change their babies' diapers and their baby screaming on top of their head and they have all this stuff in their hand. Like, I don't like that. But anyways, um I'll just say overall for the first month of having a child, it's very stressful but rewarding when you see that baby smile or giggle a little bit or whatever. That's what my little baby did. But other than that, I feel like this is stressful. I will not do this again. It's just way too much. It's too much drama. Um, it's way too much drama. But what I've learned is to protect my peace. So when I feel anxious and I feel like the conversation is going nowhere, I just automatically cut it off. Before I would entertain it, but now I can't entertain it because my emotions won't let me. So I would just advise to end it, carry on with your life, because at the end of the day, it's you. You have to care for that child. So what you believe in is basically gonna be right because your intuition is high. So if you feel like your baby is doing this and a third, or if you feel like your baby can't do this and whatever, then you do that. You're the mom. You're in charge. You carried that baby, so you have a natural bond with that baby. Dads more so have to gain the bond, and they gain the bond by being there, and they actually have to be there as far as like there physically, getting up in the middle of the night, taking care of them, being there all day. That's how they get that bond, playing with them, actually attending to them, feeding them and burping them. That's how they get their oxytocin, I think, like oxytocin levels to rise. Versus women, we're born, like, once the baby come out, we're connected automatically, so our levels are already high. But for dads, they have to gain it. So that's why when you see like men, they're like really in tune with their kids, they probably were there, like the nurturers, whatever that people want to call, in the beginning. So that's why they're like extra connected and they're like die hard for their kids type thing. Now the ones that ain't been there since birth, whatever, it's kind of like they don't really have that bond because they never gained that bond with that child. So that's why I put everything together. And these are actually facts. I learned this on the Baby's Netflix series or whatever, and that's when they put it out there. So that's why whenever you be like, how could like someone not be there for their kids and this and that third? How can they go days without seeing their months or years going to see without their children? And that's why, because they never created that bond and never was physically there. So I've learned that, but that's enough shade for whatever, what do you want to call it?